Hello and welcome to another post-game edition of the Silver Bulletin. For those of you joining us for the first time, my name is Aaliyah, and with me I have Colin Gay and Wyatt Crozier, and we are here in Ohio Stadium, where Ohio State just defeated Michigan 62-39. Now, coming into this game, Ohio State struggles immensely on defense pretty much all season, and for about 3.5 quarters, they showed up today. How would you guys rate their performance in this game?
Shocking, I would say. Just not at all the Ohio State team I expected. I know we talked a lot all week about we can see a lot of things happening in this game, and Ohio State blowout was the last thing we expected, and that is exactly what we got. I mean, the offense was clicking on pretty much all cylinders, but more importantly for most of this game, it was the defense. I mean, 39 points looks a little bigger, but I think it was just garbage time points at that rate. But they really shut down Karan Higdon for a lot of that game. Shea Patterson couldn't get that much going. I mean, the big momentum shift was in the third quarter on that block punt by Chris Olave, who had 2 touchdowns in the game, which we all expected, I'm sure. We all predicted the 2 touchdowns by the
wrote it in the book.
Absolutely. But just shocking. Like, everything went right. Everything looked good for Ohio State. That's the first time pretty much all year since maybe like Rutgers where I could say that. And I did not expect that against the top defense in the country, and it happened.
Yeah, this is the number 4 team in the nation. This is a Michigan team that had everything on the line. They were going to win the Big Ten. They were in the prime position to make a playoff run, and then Ohio State just came out and did what they wanted to do all season. And they played like they were in Michigan's position today. I think one of the things that I saw, especially defensively, was this is the first time the defensive line truly impressed me consistently throughout the entire game. They were stopping the run. They were forcing Shea Patterson to rush on throws. They were sacking Shea Patterson. They were getting out into the Michigan backfield consistently, and that was a key to a victory. I think you saw Dwayne Haskins become that. I mean, you saw that balance, but you saw that balance in the passing game and the running game, but it was primarily the passing game, and that's the kind of offense that Ohio State has wanted from Haskins. You saw him run the ball. You saw him use that zone read effectively. That was the very first play of the game. He had like an 11-yard rush, zone read rush. Everything was clicking. This was the best case scenario for Ohio State coming out today, and really this is something that I never really thought was going to be possible.
Yeah, offensively they were on fire all day. As you said, the freshman standout Chris Olave had a breakout performance today with his 2 touchdown passes and that critical block punt. Also on the offense, they did get a little bit of running game going, just enough going to set that passing game up. Dwayne Haskins broke a couple records this game. You guys want to go in a little bit about that?
Yeah, he broke the Big Ten record for passing touchdowns in a season, and then the passing yards as well, just to add on into a spectacular year. And I mean, one of the questions that I've asked, and people have asked multiple times, is do you feel has Haskins changed any? Has his mentality changed any? And especially, yeah, it hasn't. It really hasn't. And especially, I mean, you could say it could because, I mean, he's known this game. He's played in this game before, which is something that you really don't see from a non-starting quarterback before. But it was just normal to him. He took the offense into his own hands. This is, I mean, he's taken ownership of the offense, but in a game like this, against a defense like this, I think that really came to light today, was his ownership of this offense and leading one of the most just successful offenses that in the country on a storm against the top defense.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, top defense. He put up numbers like he was doing against like Indiana, Minnesota, Purdue, against the top pass defense in the country. He had 5 touchdowns. He had over 300 yards for another game. He looked like he was playing against a bad defense. He was playing against the top defense in the country. It was incredible. He had done this against a lot of bad defenses. He did a little bit against Maryland, who had a better pass defense than they had faced. But to do it against the top defense floored me. I thought he was going to have a good game. I didn't think he was going to have this great of a game. And then also for the offensive line to not give up a single sack for Haskins against this Michigan defense, that's something I definitely did not expect.
And then you saw the return. I mean, it wasn't like Michigan was shorthanded. I mean, Chase Winovich did start. He was a game-time decision coming into this one. They still had Rashawn Gary, who left the game at a point, but he returned. But this offensive line stepped up, and they were dominant, keeping an open pocket for Dwayne Haskins in this Ohio State offense to really do its work. And when Haskins is comfortable, he can work wonders, and that's exactly what he did today. Now,
for Michigan, they came into this game being the number 4 team in the country. Everyone thought that they were going to be able to get a win for the first time in now 7 years.
Yeah.
If not this year, when would they have won? At least that's what everyone had thought.
Yeah.
They had the #1 defense in the country, and they certainly just did not look like it today. How many? They gave over 400 yards of total offense, something crazy like that.
I think it's over 500.
Yeah, not a good day for the Michigan Wolverines. Now moving forward for Ohio State Buckeyes, they have Northwestern in Indy next weekend. Do you guys see them posing much of a threat for this Ohio State team?
I think it'll be interesting. I mean, they're clearly a lesser team than Michigan, but also I think Ohio State plays up to this rivalry. I don't know. I think they need to win that game to even have a chance at the playoff. They might need other things to happen depending on the Oklahoma game. I think Northwestern's a good team. I think they've looked really impressive as of late. They almost beat Notre Dame. They almost beat this Michigan team. I think Ohio State's the better team. If they come out like this, they're going to have no problem beating Northwestern. I think they'll win that game, but I'm curious to see by how much they're motivated to really pad up the score to get in the playoff.
One of the interesting things that Isaiah Prince said was he wasn't looking at the scoreboard in this game. He didn't know they scored 62 points until he looked up when the fans were flooding the field and saw how many. That's the kind of, I mean, they could have scored 70, and they kind of backed off at the end. They were driving when Haskins started to take a knee. I don't know if that's the ceiling of this Ohio State offense. I think Haskins said this offense, they still haven't had their best game yet, which is kind of hard to believe. It's very hard to believe. But this was a dominant performance. They're going to need that success to continue next week. Not going to lie, I mean, I picked Ohio State, but I did not think that. I haven't prepared for Northwestern. I haven't seen much of Northwestern. But really, this Ohio State team, what they did today against the #1 team in the country, or #1 defense in the country, the #4 team in the country, they need to have this dominant of a performance. And I mean, they show that they can on a consistent basis.
Now, if they can keep up this newfound defensive stoutness and keep up their high offensive play, do you think they have a good shot at making the playoffs? What else do they need to happen if they need something else to happen? Or a good showing in Indy, will that be enough to get them into the playoff?
I think a great showing in Indy might be enough regardless of the Oklahoma game. Oklahoma-Texas, I think it's going to be another shootout. I think Oklahoma, I think they'll win. I don't know a lot about either team, but watching them, I think just Kyler Murray, I don't think they're going to lose to the same team twice, not Texas. So I think Ohio State would need to win big like they did here, need to show that they are an improved defensive team. That's what Oklahoma does not have, is the defense. They are strictly a shootout team. Ohio State, if they can prove that they're not that and have the same sort of offense as Oklahoma, I think that's big for the committee. I'm very curious to see how much they jump after this game. They're at 10 right now. If they move like one spot below Oklahoma, I could see that being the case. But I think they'll need to win big to control their own destiny. Besides that, it'll be up to the committee.
This is the first time that Ohio State has passed the eye test this year. It will be interesting to see how the playoff committee responds to that, because I have no idea where they're going to put them. And I think come Tuesday, when the rankings are finally announced, we'll know a lot more. Right now, I mean, their focus, I mean, they're going to have to beat the pants off of Northwestern. You're right. They're going to have to do that. They're going to have to make maybe not the 59-0 level that they did in 2014, but they're going to have to be dominant. They're going to have to pass the eye test again for all of the times, all of the Marylands, for all of the Purdues. They're going to have to convince this team that they are the fourth best in the country. And even after this win, there's still people, including me, that question, is Ohio State one of the four best teams in the country? Because, I mean, this was a dominant performance. They beat what many considered, including me, the fourth best team in the country. But really, they're going to need more. They're going to need consistency to determine if they're going to make that top four, and that's going to be Saturday in Indy.
All right, that's all we have for you guys today. 62-39 is the final here in Columbus. Ohio State gets the upset victory over rival Michigan in the 115th rendition of the game. For Wyatt and Colin, my name is Aaliyah Jackson, and thanks for watching another episode of Silver Bulletin. We'll see you guys back here next week. We didn't think that we were going to say that last week.
I